This is a public affairs presentation from News 4 New York. Visiones.
Mexican food is certainly tasty, but some of the dishes can pack on the pounds. So what can you do to cut those calories? Well, Tatiana Boncompagni has plenty of ideas. She's a food columnist and lifestyle editor at Self magazine. We've got a sort of a traditional dish, tacos, but what did you do differently to try to make this a little healthier?
The way you can make tacos healthier is by making smart swaps. So instead of using beef, try fish. We have cod today, which is so good for you. It's full of omega-3s. It's incredibly heart healthy and much lower in calories. We think of dieting as being like kind of the old way to think about eating. It's all about living a healthy lifestyle, eating the food that you want, getting all of the pleasure out of your food that we all deserve to get out of our food.
Absolutely.
But being smart about it.
Popcorn.
And this
Love
is
this.
delicious.
Why is this one special in particular?
Well, it's a 6-pack, and it's also priced very well. It's $29.99, and it's got, I love the chipotle flavor, the barbecue, and then there's some sweet flavors as well. And it's great for a party, actually. If you can put it at a party, you're done with your snacks.
Okay, let's take a look next. Now, I actually own one of these, even though I'm not a teacher. These are J. Crew bracelets,
Yes.
right?
Well, J. Crew is my go-to for my children's teachers. You can never go wrong. These are always incredibly appreciated, and these are only $29.50.
Tell us about this first book, Eyes Wide Open.
Okay, so Eyes Wide Open is by an author named Andrew Gross. He's written lots of books with James Patterson, who everyone knows is like the king of thrillers, and Andrew Gross is a great writer as well. It grips you from the first page.
Finally, a children's book by Weird Al.
I know.
What is that about? I know.
This is actually an incredible book, and there's also an app, an interactive app related to this called When I Grow Up, the title of the book, and it's about a little boy named Billy who is looking at different professions that he can have when he grows up, including tarantula shaver. So
Tarantula shaver?
It's very silly, like Weird Al.
But that's what you want for kids.
Yes, my son Enrico loves this book.
Oh, good. Okay, so it's been tested on your family.
Yes, definitely.
You have 3 children now, different ages, but you're saying you see rivaling between the oldest and the youngest.
Well, it's like last night we were playing Legos on the table after dinner, and the little baby, I was holding him in my hands, and my son was building something, and he just didn't want the baby to touch any of his Legos.
Because really it's rough to be the older one when mom's constantly taking care of the baby.
Well, the one lesson that we had this year after I had the baby was that each child needed their own alone time, one-on-one with mommy. Because even if I love when everyone's getting along and playing together, they need their alone time with mommy. What I learned is it doesn't have to be a lot of time, and it doesn't have to be anything particularly special, but it just has to be consistent.
Entertainment is trying to adapt to a new public mood. A new wave of recessionista chick lit features women worrying about getting jobs rather than getting the guy. New York author Tatiana Boncompagni saw the crash coming and writes of the struggling hedge funders she knows.
The chick lit genre is absolutely in crisis. Some say that it is dying. I think people are looking for those kinds of books that are, much, more real. That oversaturation that we had before of just tons of books and tons of shows and movies all glamorizing the wealthy life. I think that is never going to reach the same level, probably much like the hedge fund community. Like it's all going to be a little bit more sober, and it should be. The socialites in Gilding Lily are very true to life. They're ambitious, they're obsessed with fashion, they're obsessed with gossip, but I just took it a little step further. Well, one thing that I think real-life socialites and the girls in my book have in common is they both sort of are very secretive about their ambition. For example, once I was doing an interview for a story, and a girl swore to me that she had never noticed any of the photographers taking her picture at any of the parties. It was like, oh, they're there? I've never seen them before. I don't know how these pictures magically appear in Vogue magazine. And meanwhile, she's really well known for planting herself right in front of a bank of photographers. So that's pretty typical for a New York it girl.